your go-to for all things home. This is Home Answers Radio, presented by JeffBuysYourHouse.com, Access, and by Center Guard Plumbing. Once again, here's Roger Piper.
Your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio.
Hi, welcome to Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper. This show is all about your home, and it's for homeowners and people interested in home and home improvement. Got a special guest today from Access, Frank Wasilewski.
How you doing today?
Hey, welcome to the show. Frank, you own a company and do a company called Access.
Yeah.
So tell us what you do.
So we are a full-service general contractor and a full-service elevator contractor. And what we do is we go into somebody's home who has a disability or a family member with a disability and assess it and find the most reasonable solution to solve their problem, whether that's getting in the house, getting upstairs, modifying a bathroom. Sometimes it's just something simple as removing thresholds, widening doors, changing lighting, just so they can get around better in the house that they live in.
Yeah, and a lot of people really want to stay in their homes as they age. You know, you have the age issue and then you have disability, and sometimes both. But a lot of people really want to stay in their homes, and they'd rather not go to assisted living or a retirement village and things like that. And you really need to do some modifications. And it used to be hard to do, but there's so many things that can be done now, isn't there?
Oh, there's incredible amount of things that can be done nowadays. One of the things that we do is when we go into a house, we offer a full assessment where we go around with the video, and then we're looking at it, but we're videotaping your house. Okay. That gets sent over to an OT, who then takes your particular disability, matches it up with what they see in the house and what we see and tell the OT. And then they come back with all of these suggestions that are going to help you with your specific disability. And that's a service we offer for free.
And the thing is, it has to be fluid a little bit, too, because it changes. Like maybe you didn't have to have a stair lift, but now you do. And so it's really important to establish a relationship with a company, isn't it?
Oh, it's extremely important because, as you said, a lot of times when we go into a house, one of the first things we really want to do with somebody with a disability is not straddle them with a piece of equipment that keeps them from moving. We want them to move. Their doctor wants them to move. Their therapist want them to move. So we want to help that. So a lot of times when the first thing we do, say getting upstairs, is we'll go and maybe add an additional handrail or change the handrail heights so that they can more easily get up and down the stairs themselves. Sometimes if you have a wide staircase, we're bringing the handrails in, so that they have that support to get themselves up and down the stairs. And that may last them for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And then now when they start having really bad days where they can't go up, that's where a stair lift would come in.
Yeah.
And we would provide that stair lift and still maybe, if possible, still have both handrails there. So that on good days they can walk and on bad days they can ride the chair.
So who would be somebody that would need to see you for the first time? Okay, let's say somebody had a medical condition or they're aging to a certain point. Give us the typical person that would need to give you a call and talk about ways to modify the home.
It's interesting. The average age of our client is actually 37. So it's not an aging population that is a big portion of our business. It is medical, injuries. It's car accidents. It's, people, veterans that have served in the war that come back that are having difficulties.
837. That's really wild. I wouldn't have, I understand that there are people with disabilities, but I would expect the average age to be like 70.
Yeah, that's what most people think. It's a huge misconception.
Wow.
Because there's so much, your life can change on a dime.
Yeah, we all know that.
Right? So when you have a house and you buy a house, you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So it never hurts to have an assessment done of, okay, if something goes wrong, what would I need to do to my house? And that's something we provide. And it's 100% free. We'll let you know what you need. And you can either make those modifications over time, like my wife and I did. We bought a house and we said, okay, over the next 10 years, we're going to do this, 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 this. And we just made modifications. Thankfully, we haven't needed them yet, but the house is now 100% ready for us.
Yeah, because it is amazing when homes are built that they're, if you have a business, you got to be ADA compliant. You got to be able to have access. for people to get in with wheelchairs, that type of thing. Homes aren't built that way, are they?
No, homes are not built that way.
Isn't you would think with all the regulations and all the things that they have. I know somebody who had somebody and young, at age 30 that all of a sudden was disabled in a wheelchair and going crazy because even the most simple things like the door openings, not to get into a bathroom, not wide enough.
Yeah, most door openings to go in a bathroom are 28 inches wide, which is nowhere near enough for somebody in a wheelchair to get in there. Mm-hmm. And then you have the sink is too high, or they can't get their wheelchair underneath it, or they can't transfer to the toilet because it's all compacted together. Mm-hmm. So, yes, and homes are built to sell, right? That's what they're built for. Yeah. Builders build them to sell and look pretty and sell. They're not built for functionality. So it really does fall on the homeowner to make it functional for themselves over time. And if you're younger and you start this process, well, eventually you can have your parents come live with you, which then changes the world for them and for you as far as expenses for nursing or, all day care going to a nursing facility. Mm-hmm. Because nursing facilities, there's a stat that's out there, by 2035, we have this whole baby boomer population that's coming up, and Gen X is going to start aging in. Mm-hmm. They have enough room for 11% of that population.
Wow.
And that's if they continue at the pace that they're continuing now on building those centers.
Well, it's a good thing that that the trend is wanting to stay in the home as long as you can, because it sounds like it's going to be out of necessity down the road.
It will be a necessity down the road, but there's another stat that's out there. I will try to paraphrase it, but somebody who stays in their home versus going to a facility will live longer because they're in a comfortable environment. Mm-hmm. They know how to get around. That's where they, raise their children and spent their entire life. And that comfort helps them age better and longer.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get a hold of Frank and talk to him, 630-616-6249. And you can go on the website, which I always encourage. Do your homework. Allaboutaccess.com. Allaboutaccess.com. And, Frank, when it comes to a lot of times, you're talking about the average age was 37, did you say?
Average age of our client is 37 years old.
That's amazing.
It is.
If it's 37, this seems to be, and it's usually not gradual. It's like something happened. There's an injury, there's, an illness, something, bam, 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 all of a sudden here I am in need of modifications and things like that. It can be a huge financial burden because you weren't expecting this. How do people handle that? Is there a way or, because I'm sure you have clients that all of a sudden, they have big time needs.
So we have an on-staff social worker.
Okay.
And what she does is she goes around and she works with the state agencies, the funding. She stays up on top of the federal funding. So if there is a grant or state aid or federal aid that you would qualify for based on your disability, we're going to help you identify what that is. Now, we can't fill out an application for somebody. That would be fraud, but we can point you in the right direction. Mm-hmm. These are the ones you want to apply for because this is what you qualify for.
Yeah, because we're talking about immediate needs and relief. And you can absolutely take care of that with the way you do business, going in, filming the home, having the people look at it, making a great suggestion. But there's a lot of people that aren't going to do the other side of it, and that is kind of help you find out what is available as far as help, right?
Right. And quite honestly, from a business perspective, I don't care who pays for the modification. I really don't. So if we can get somebody else to pay for it for you, fantastic. That's great. That allows you to spend that money on things that typically aren't covered by an aid, where, little gadgets and stuff that help you get around the house or help make your life easier.
Sure. That makes a difference. When you're looking at choosing a company, what would you recommend being in the business? If somebody is all of a sudden in need of this, what are the questions they should be asking?
So the first thing you need to do is you're in a panic situation.
Right.
If it happens, like, you have an accident, you find out from the doctors that say your husband's never going to walk again as a result, or your child, or yourself, right? Stop and breathe, right? I mean, I know it's hard, but emotions start to take over. And unfortunately, just like other businesses that prey on the elderly and the disabled, we have unscrupulous people that are in our business that are just going to go after you with high pressure sales to buy,
Right.
to make your life easier. So you really need to stop and get an evaluation, and get an evaluation by multiple people, and have your doctors look at that evaluation and say, does this make sense? Is this something that would help me get around my house better, take a shower better, get upstairs better, with my particular condition? And we encourage it all the time. We'll go in there, give you a free assessment, but by all means, get a second assessment, get a third assessment, review it with your family, talk to your doctors and your therapists, make sure it's the right decision for you, then do it. Because if you are in that situation, doesn't matter if you can take a shower tomorrow or 2 weeks from now. You just need to get it done for it. You just need to make that happen, but you want to do it right.
Yep. Good advice, Frank, especially the part about breathing, because that's when, when the mind is stressed, that's when the mistakes are made.
Yeah.
We've been talking with Frank Wasilewski, and he's with Access. You can get a hold of Frank at allaboutaccess.com. Go to the website. That's what we recommend you do, and do your homework and check it out. You can also call them at 630-616-6249, and you do have different showrooms where people can check things out, right?
Yeah, so we have 5 locations. So the closest one here is Roselle, Illinois, where we have a showroom where you can go and ride an elevator, ride a stair lift, see an accessible bathroom, see different options for ramps and lifts that can help you get in and out of the house before you buy it. See it. You want to try it to make sure it actually works for you and you got the right thing.
Yeah, that's part of your homework. All right, we're talking with Access. I'm Roger Piper. This is Home Answers on AM 560, The Answer.
Your go